traveling with your baby or your toddler for the first time and not sure about it? Let me tell you how I do it. Hey y'all, Sandy here. So today I want to share with you my top tips when it comes to traveling by yourself, or not by yourself, but with a baby or a toddler. Now I know it can be really challenging, especially, well, it's challenging like every time, but like especially if you've never done it before, it can be quite stressful. And I remember the first time I was flying by myself with my daughter, I was very anxious, not really sure about like what to expect. I made sure that I was well prepared for the flight. I've been doing kind of the same thing, so I thought it would be great for me to share with you. It really works for me and I hope it will help you. Tip number 1, plan ahead. So before you travel, check with the airline what their policies are regarding babies and toddlers. I fly with SkyTeam most of the time. So SkyTeam is like KLM, Air France, Delta and many more, but they have their policy is the child is still a baby under 2 years old, then the child is basically on your ticket. So you book, you have one seat. So that means during takeoff, landing, the baby, you have to hold on to the baby. You get like an extra belt for your baby, seat belt. They also have like a crib or a cot that you can request for. So it's very important that when you book your ticket that you already request for the cot, because it's to my experience with KLM Air France, it's not automatically that they give you the cot, if I remember correctly. Anyway, it's good for you to check. Also, when it comes to bringing food or formula or whatever you need for your baby, it's good to check what the airport policies are when it comes to that. And at the age of 2, you book a separate ticket for the child. The child has their own seat, and you can also check if you want to request for kids meal. That can also be different per airline. For example, KLM, I have to request for the children's meal, and Air France just gives it automatically. Also, when it comes to how many pieces of hand luggage you can take with you, or when it comes to the stroller or whatnot, you can all find it on your airline's website. From my understanding, in the US, you can also bring like a car seat. It's good to already be sure of the information. If it's not clear to you, please just contact them, like call them or email them or whatever, because it is good to just know for yourself exactly that everything is in order when you arrive at the airport. You don't want to have any kind of stress when you get there. Number 2, choose the right flight. If there are multiple flights a day going to your destination, pick the one that you know around that time your baby or your toddler is like, is most peaceful or calm or sleeping. Maybe try to book it during nap time, or if it's like a long haul flight, maybe book it during the night or something like that. Know your child the best, so you know what time is right for you. Number 3, pack smart. Please, please, please do this well, because if you forget these things, most likely you won't really find, depending on the airport, but you cannot assume that you will find these things at the airport. You want to prepare this very well. So make a list for yourself and just make sure you have everything packed in your carry-on. Like especially like diapers, wipes, formula, bottles, pacifiers, maybe an extra pacifier. Toys, especially as they are getting older, is nice that they can entertain themselves. I've been on flights where I've seen children being bored, like they had no toys, and of course they were crying because they were bored. Even though a lot of airlines have this in-flight entertainment system where you can watch like movies and whatnot, that doesn't mean that your child wants to watch a movie or a TV for like 6 hours. Like they're children, like sometimes they want to play or do something else. So please prepare. As a baby, of course, you have to just take a few things, like they're so small, they're happy, they're satisfied with with the simplest things. I think like from a certain age you can try to bring some toys that they actually have something to do basically, or like a coloring book, or what I like to do is also like sometimes buy like small things, new things that she hasn't seen before, so it will be like extra interesting to unpack and to play with like the new toys. And those don't have to be expensive and nothing really special. Even be like these little, I don't know how to call them, like when they just press all the things, you know, it can be super simple. Just make sure that it's also not like super small in case it like drops on the floor and you just have to look for all those things. And I also like to reading books so I can read stories to her. Also make sure to bring extra sets of clothes. I like to bring 2 to 3 extra sets of clothes because you never know. Like one of the first times we flew had something that was a little bit different, and then her tummy reacted immediately to it, so we had like a bit of accidents and whatever. So like you never know. Number 4, when it comes to my handbags, I always like to carry a smaller handbag with me that I can just wear crossbody, and this smaller bag will have like my passports, money, all the important documents that we cannot misplace. And also, like, since you are by yourself, say you have to go to the restroom or something, you can just wear it crossbody real quick and do whatever you need to do, and then you know for sure that you have all your important things with you. Then I also like to bring like a larger bag, and here you can also bring your baby bag, of course, with all the things that you need to have on hand during the flight. So of course I also bring like a carry-on, but since that is stowed in the luggage bin, I like to have these tuck it like under our seats, and that will have the snacks, the drinks, some diapers, some clothes, just things that you need to grab quickly. This is the Longchamp Le Pliage Energy in size medium, by the way, and this is the Longchamp Le Pliage Energy in extra small. These are actually the bags that I use all the time when traveling. Like, these are my go-to bags because they are so carefree, and yeah, I just love them. Number 5, invest in a good carry-on suitcase. It is definitely worth it. Before, when I was traveling by myself and I would like pick up the most affordable suitcases, they will just break every time. Like, it is just, if they don't break all the time, then they're usually not so user-friendly. What I mean by that is, like, you want to have like a 4-wheel carry-on, and you want to have one where the handle, this handle, just comes up smoothly and very high and just can turn and twist, turn whatever easily. It makes such a difference. Here I have one by level 8, and you see like how smoothly that is. And especially when you're traveling by yourself, you want to make sure that everything you have on you is like very reliable and easy to use, and it makes such a difference when these suitcases are so lightweight. Number 6, a stroller. Now, first time when I was traveling, that time I only had this 2-part stroller, like you could take it apart. The stroller was so heavy. I thought, if I have to go to the airport with that stroller, of course you can go all the way up to the gate, take it apart there, and then they, of course, they label it, and when you land you will have to wait till they put it back in the they quickly try to put all the strollers up there, so as soon as you exit the airplane your stroller is there. But like I just couldn't see myself going through that, because that stroller was like so heavy, and no. So I did my research online. I came across joolz. It's a Dutch brand, and I think their strollers are all made in Europe, but I will try to link it down below, because I think I've also recommended to another friend of mine. Like, it is so good. So what you have is like, this is your stroller, right? This is it. So this actually fits in the cabin, like into the luggage bin. Yeah, in the luggage bin. This has been a lifesaver for me. I cannot explain to you how much I love this stroller. Store it in this bag if you like, and then you can wear it over the shoulder. Even if you don't bring this thing, there's even like a sort of a shoulder strap here, so you can just carry it over the shoulder like that, and it is just the best. Like, you only need one hand to open and close the stroller. The stroller was about 400 euros. I wasn't sure at the time, like, if that's going to be really worth it, because is it something that I'm only going to use while traveling? But I thought, you know what, I am going to travel by myself. It makes such a difference when you invest in quality things, because usually also better to maneuver, right? Just like these carry-ons, this as well, that just makes everything comfortable for yourself. So I thought, okay, looked up some videos on YouTube, but yes, let me just give it a try. I mean, it's a good brand. Worst case scenario, you don't use it as much, and then you just sell it off. And that's also the thing, like, if you buy a well-known brand or people already know it's a quality brand, you will sell it anyway. But of course, these types of strollers you will absolutely enjoy before ever thinking of selling them off. They're so easy to use. You just need one hand. This one has a zipper, so you can take the back down, close it up. It has like different add-ons that you can add to make it more comfortable. She has always been super comfortable in this stroller. I've been using it since she was 6 months old. Now she's slowly approaching 3, and I still use it from time to time. Let's say if we go to the park or whatever, it's so easy to just put in the car and go, and it's not too heavy. I just love it. I would absolutely recommend, check it out. Number 7 is use a baby carrier, like a sling. Sometimes so easy to be hands-free, and if you have a child that likes to be near you, then that is also going to calm them down. This is how I would do it. I would just use the stroller throughout the airport until we get to the gate, and then before boarding, so as you are just waiting to board, I would just put on the sling, the carrier, and put her in there, and then I will just fold this, even like rest this stroller like on my carry-on, or I just wear it over the shoulder. I could enter the plane. I like to do that in that waiting area, because you can also do it like just before you enter the plane. You know, that might be a bit stressful at that moment, because everyone is like queuing, like in line to enter the plane. Technically, this is advertised as that it fits in the actual alleys on the plane, but if she's already in the sling, I just sit down, right, because she's attached to me. So that makes it just very easy. And also during the flight, you know, if the baby gets a bit tired or whatnot, it's easy for you to just put it back in the sling, then you just walk around a bit. Also, don't have all that weight on your arm, and the baby is just there, so you cannot bump. Number, where are we? 7 is bring entertainment. I touched on that a little bit before already. Just make sure that your child is entertained. You as an adult, you are okay with watching a movie, but don't assume that your child wants to watch TV the whole time, and just bring a few things to keep them entertained. If you have YouTube Premium, you can already download videos. So I'll make sure to download like some of the things that I know that she really likes to watch. Also on the iPad, she has games for toddlers like puzzles and whatnot. So I make sure that everything is charged. I don't know where we are. Be prepared for landing and takeoff. Now, especially takeoff is such a crucial moment. I want to make sure that their ears stay open, because I think even if you don't try to do it in the right moment and they already start to cry because of the discomfort, the pressure, you're basically already too late. Is from what I've heard, especially babies. Like when she was still a baby and when I was not breastfeeding anymore, I would still bring like some formula, and then during takeoff I'll give it the bottle to drink. Now that she's a bit older, I like to bring something else to drink, maybe like lemonade or fruit juice or just water, and then make sure that I have like some nice sweets that I know she likes, or like different types of sweets so she can choose. Because that moment that we take off, I just want to make sure that her ears stay open, so I don't really care that she's eating some sweets, as long as she's like, you know, swallowing, so the ears stay open. And also my tip for you is not to give them something too early. One time it happened that thought we were about to take off, and because we were all taxiing, so I thought, okay, you know how the planes like the plane taxis and then it stops, and then usually almost immediately increase speed and then take off. But this time I was already giving her something like some sweets or whatever, or she was asking for a drink, and I try to stretch that as well as much as possible, because you don't want to half an hour before takeoff, like when you're still waiting to board or whatever, like start to give them like all sorts of foods and drinks, because you try to stretch it till that moment, right? So you are sure that they're eating or drinking something, not that she's fully like saturated and doesn't want anything anymore, right? Yeah, she was already asking for a drink or whatever or something, so I thought, okay, we're going to take off now anyway, so it's okay. I gave her, I don't know, some juice, and then in the end, when I thought we were going to start the actual takeoff, we were queuing. Like there were 2 or 3 airplanes in line. Eventually it went well. I gave her something else after, but you want to really make sure that you're really about to take off, because what if she really had enough and then she didn't want anything anymore, because she has a mind of her own. So, you know, even if you think like you're offering something good to her, if she's saturated or if she doesn't feel like it, she won't take it. So that's why I try to stretch it as much as I can. Now I really give her something the moment we actually start to speed and then take off. I always make sure that everything is on hand in my bag, and also try to avoid not to show her before, you know, when I'm preparing everything. I'm trying to do it like secretly or sneakily, so she doesn't see and she won't ask for it until she can have it in the right moment. Of course, the same for landing. You know, the pressure increases, so for the comfort of your child, you can also make sure you have something set aside for when you land. And number, is this 10? 10, just stay calm. It is okay. You have prepared for this journey, for this flight in the best way you can. Children can still cry. It is okay. I think that it is very important for you just to stay calm. Don't get frustrated. Yeah, I know, like sometimes when they cry, it's like kind of like, you know, you feel like you have to make sure that they're quiet, but people understand. And I feel like even if your child is really uncomfortable or whatever and cries, and you're doing everything you can to calm your child down or whatever, people understand. Like no one really cares. Like if they have a problem with you, they should have booked a private flight, okay? They should have hopped on their private jet. Like it's okay, children cry, we were all babies, it's okay. So don't worry too much about that. Also, it's important for you to still feel relaxed and still be comforting towards your child, because if you get tense, you know, children, they will get tense too. Like it will only get worse. So just try to relax. And also don't be afraid to ask for help. If it's like with your luggage, or the other passengers or the flight attendants are very happy to help you. And to my experience, I never had to ask anyone to help me with anything. I always feel like from the security point to the passengers to the flight attendant, people are always so happy to help. Like, I don't know, I feel like people are generally very kind and understanding. So don't worry about that too much. Like there will always be someone to help you. Like maybe if your child is sleeping in the cot and you quickly want to run to the bathroom, just ask the flight attendant. Or maybe if you want to warm up some food that you brought with you or a bottle, they're very happy to help you. Like I've never had any bad experience. These were my most important tips when it comes to traveling by yourself with a baby or a toddler. If you want to know exactly like what I pack or anything like that, please let me know in the comments down below, because we would love to do a separate video on that. Thanks for watching.